Our fourth reading for this Good Friday is taken from Mark chapter 15. We start with verse 33. At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing near heard this, they said, listen, he's calling Elijah. We pray with me. Heavenly Father, as we gather here, we thank you that we will never be forsaken, forgotten, or cast aside. That Jesus has taken that upon himself for us. And for that we give you thanks and praise. Amen. Our fourth speaker is myself, Pastor Craig Bickel, one of the pastors here at Immanuel Lutheran Church in Grand Rapids. The setting for our fourth word starts with verse 33. At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. You ever been lost? I mean, really lost. Alone, forsaken. The last few weeks we probably have felt alone, but the reality is I've never seen so many people walk past our house. I can still see Jacob and Sharon. I can talk to Noel and Caleb and talk to my neighbors and my friends from a distance. I might feel lonely, but I have not been alone. Jesus on the cross. And at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? It is a cry, not a cry against God, but really a cry to God. My God, my God. The fourth word of Jesus on the cross is the word of him being all alone. And his cry is really a statement, isn't it? I am alone. Jesus has always known what it's like to be alone. In the verse right before this, in verse 32 of Mark 15, it says, let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down from the cross, that we may see and believe. Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. On the cross, as they're mocking him and ridiculing him. That makes one feel alone. In Mark chapter 3, it says that Jesus' mother and brothers came to take charge of him because they thought he was out of his mind. His very own family questioned him. He knows what it's like to feel alone. And then probably one of the loneliest verses of the Bible, in John chapter 1, verse 1, it says that he came to that which was his own, and his own did not receive him. Now that's loneliness. Never since the fall of Adam and Eve, of mankind in the garden, Jesus has known a loneliness. My God, why? That interrogative adverb is really the cry of humanity, isn't it? Why? We all cry it. And now we see Jesus, God and true man, asking that same question. We see in Jesus the humanity of Christ. Why have you forsaken me? That question why, when you ask it, can be excruciating at times. And that excruciating, that word carries with it deep meaning. For it comes from two Latin words, ex and cruciate, to crucify. Why? Why, God, have you forsaken me? Why was he forsaken? In Habakkuk chapter 1, we hear these words in verse 13. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrongdoing. Your eyes, Father, are too pure to look on evil. Why am I forsaken? Because the Father's eyes are too pure to look on that which is evil. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21, St. Paul writes, God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Why was he forsaken? Because God made him who had no sin to be sin, to be forsaken, to be cast out, to be separated from that which is holy. Why was Jesus forsaken? Galatians chapter 3. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who is hung on a pole, on a tree. Cursed is everyone. Why have you forsaken me? Jesus cries out. Because he was cursed, because he was forsaken, because he was broken. My God, why have you forsaken me? Is also a promise to us. Matthew 28, verse 20, Matthew ends his gospel with those words of Jesus that, lo, I am with you always to the very end of the age. How can he make that promise? How can he promise to us who feel lonely at times that we'll never truly be alone? Because he was alone for us. He was forsaken for us. And so no matter how deep your sin is, no matter how many they are, God's love for you is deeper, for it endured the cross for you. No matter how scarlet, how dark your sin is, Jesus' love is brighter, for he endured the cross for you. Christ's suffering at Calvary, his loneliness at the cross, restores us, it redeems us, and it cleanses us of all of our sins. For all who call upon his name shall be saved. My God, how great is your love, Jesus, God, for us. Will you pray with me? Jesus, we praise you on this Good Friday for the depth of your love that endured being forsaken so that we will never be. Thank you for the cross, Jesus, for it's in the cross we see the depth of your love for each of us. Amen.
In the cross of Christ I glory, towering o'er the wrecks of time. All the light of sacred story gathers round its head sublime. When the walls of life o'ertake me, hopes deceive and fears